Hello, welcome to episode number 16 of the TEW WWE Challenge Run. We are going to be booking SmackDown today for the third week of May 2020 as we continue our build on the road to Money in the Bank. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. SmackDown this week starts on quite the somber note, as we have SmackDown General Manager Paige in the ring, dedicating this show to one of the greatest SmackDown General Managers of all time, that being Theodore Long, who in the game literally passed away today, the Friday, week 3 of May. So in the spirit of Teddy Long, we're going to be having the Teddy Long Tag Team Special night here on SmackDown, where we're going to have a bunch of tag team matches because he loves the tag team match. So she calls out New Day, who are the tag team champions. And the first match is interesting because it's going to be a 4-way tag team match between Lucha House Party, Forgotten Sons, Heavy Machinery, and Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak, where the winning team will face New Day next week for the tag team titles. So we start off Teddy Long's Memorial Tag Team Special episode of SmackDown with a 59. Bryan and Gulak defeat the Forgotten Sons, Lindsay Dorado and Grand Metalik, and Heavy Machinery. Again, it says there's an elimination, but I wouldn't have there be eliminations. It would just be Daniel Bryan submitting probably Wesley Blake, one of the Forgotten Sons. 45 for Tucker, 68 for Otis, 31, 37 for the Sons, 46 and 42 for the Lucha House Party, and 79 and 53 for Bryan and Gulak. So next week it will be the New Day defending the Tag Team Championships against Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak. Just quick 1-minute promos from Sheamus, Shad Gable and Jeff Hardy. Like in the old school sort of like Royal Rumble style, where each man talks about how they're going to win Money in the Bank. Of course, Sheamus has won it before. Jeff Hardy is a ladder match veteran and Chad Gable is the underdog. So they all preach to the choir about why they're going to win Money in the Bank. Just a short little way to get them on the show to build up the match. Women's tag team action. Speaking of Money in the Bank, Dakota Kai, who's in the women's Money in the Bank, teams with Raquel Gonzalez against Dana Brooke and Carmella. And they beat them when Dakota pins Dana. And they have zero chemistry, which is why they're scoring so low. Backstage segment. Heavy Machinery are dejected after their loss in the opener. Mandy's consulting her man Otis. Tucky's also there consulting Otis when Ali walks up to Mandy and he asks if she's good to go. And then Mandy looks at Otis like, is it okay if I go for this tag team match? It's me and Ali against Dolph Ziggler and Sonya Deville. And then Otis is like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Good luck, Mandy. They gives her a kiss. And Mandy and Ali leave for the tag team match, as Tucker and Otis stay behind watching Mandy leave. And they continue to obviously feel sorry for themselves as they lost to Bryan and Gulak and in the opening match. That makes tag team matches a 58. Neither of these teams work well, apparently. But it's Ali and Mandy who beat Ziggler and Sonya when Mandy pins Sonya. She finally gets her revenge on her former best friend. Mandy gets a 40, Ali 52, Ziggler 60, Sonya 45. And again, both teams, terrible chemistry, apparently. Even though Dolph and Sonya were a good pair. Cesaro, Nakamura are backstage talking about how hope there's no hard feelings after Cesaro beat Shinsuke in the main event, and Shinsuke doesn't answer him. He just gives him that Shinsuke grin that he gives when Sami Zayn walks up to them. He says, great match between you two, you really put each other back on the map with that main event last week. And now Cesaro, because we're all still best friends here, you get the pleasure of tag teaming with me tonight in the main event, because you won last week, so you're my number one contender. It'll be the IC champion and his contender teaming up to face the Universal champion, Braun Strowman, and one of his contenders, Roman Reigns. And Cesaro's like, wait, what? And Nakamura sort of laughs because he avoided the chance. He doesn't have to fight Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, so that's sort of him dodging a bullet. But Cesaro's like, nah, but we'll take them. He'd grab like a glass of whiskey or whatever, down it all in one swig, toss the glass behind him, it would land on the shelf or on the desk or whatever it is behind him, face up as he walks off. And Shinsuke would just look at the glass and look at Cesaro, all confused about how the most interesting man in the world, Cesaro, managed to pull that off. J-Flow match again. Gets to 24. Does that mean that they didn't think this was full of... No, there was someone in here they cared about. I can't think of who it would be. Xia Li, maybe? I still think it's actually a member of J-Flow. But they get the win. We give Mina the pinfall this time. Who is this one? Mina Shirakawa. She scores the pinfall this week, as J-Flow continued their unbeaten run here on SmackDown Live. And of course they would do the performance before their match, which I didn't put into the game because, well, I had time, I just completely forgot to do it. So, Mandy she's coming out, she's walking down the hallway, she's just come out of a shower after her match, and she can hear, she sees doctors running past her and referees, and she follows them. She hears Tucker shouting for help because they're checking to Otis because Otis has been attacked while Mandy was out there. She goes to Tucker. She's like, what happened? He goes, I don't know, me and Otis were just sitting here waiting for you to come back. And we got blindsided by these two giant guys. And Mandy's like, did you see what they looked like? And Tucker was like, well, it was all a bit of a blur, but they were two gigantic men, and they just came by. They took me and Otis out, and I was lucky to be able to get up beforehand. But Otis, he received obviously the bigger beating, and he's still out cold. We don't know what's the matter with him or what injuries he suffered. So of course Mandy follows her man into the back of an ambulance, and Tucker would go with them as well to the local medical facility to get Otis checked out, as two supposedly gigantic men have taken out heavy machinery. Number 2 Bayley's SmackDown Women's Championship Money in the Bank is Alexa Bliss. So her and Nikki Cross team up against Sasha and Bayley here, and it is Sasha and Bayley who get the win when Bayley pins Nikki Cross. So Alexa doesn't take the fall to the woman that she has to face at Money in the Bank. Her best friend Nikki takes the fall in your average SmackDown Women's Division Tag Team match. A match I feel like I've seen about 50 times in real life, but hey ho, first time in this save, I think. Mojo Rawley and Rob Gronkowski have a very Rocky Balboa inspired vignette of Mojo getting the Gronk in shape. Mojo Rawley very much in the Apollo Creed role here, and Rob Gronkowski in the Rocky Balboa role. They're running down the beach in their shorts, getting Gronk fired up with their match with The Miz and Morrison at Money in the Bank, and how they're going to overcome all odds and prove why they are the best tag team on SmackDown now. Not D-Generation X, not John Morrison and The Miz, but these two, Rob Gronkowski and Mojo Rawley. And then the Gronk could be like, hey, but if we're the greatest tag team ever, what's our tag team name? And then Mojo just stops in silence. He's like, oh, we'll work on that. And then the VT ends as him and the Gronk very much getting prepared for their match at Money in the Bank. The main event match is Cesaro and Sami Zayn defeating Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, when that is not the finish I had. It literally says miscommunication by Braun Strowman causes a loss, because obviously there'd be Sami Zayn and Cesaro obviously challenging for Sami's title, but they're still very much best friends. So friendly tags and good teamwork between them. But of course, very aggressive, assertive tags on the chest by Braun and Roman, like the hard slaps to the chest that dysfunctional partners always give each other. And at the end, it would all kick off, and Braun would lay Roman out of a power slam before leaving. And that would allow Cesaro to pin Roman Reigns. And then Goldberg comes out after the break. Braun's gone to the back, he's left. Roman's still in the ring, but Goldberg's here. And he says to Roman Reigns that he's going to win the Universal Championship in the Triple Threat match at Money in the Bank. And Roman's like, hey, it's a good job you're out here, Bill, because I've got a lot of things to say to you specifically, not to Braun, but Braun can listen in if he wants to. when you came in, you said that I was too scared to race you at WrestleMania. Well, sorry for putting my priorities being elsewhere with my family and my health during what was a very difficult time for the planet. Because you think a match with Goldberg is the most important thing on planet Earth because you're the Bill Goldberg, you're the undefeated WCW icon, but let me tell you something, Bill, you may be the Goldberg, but I'm the one and only Roman Reigns. And Braun Strowman, he can hear this all he wants, but he's got his eyes set on Goldberg. He knows he can beat Braun. But Goldberg doesn't think that Roman can beat him, but Roman knows he can. So he can throw that weak-ass spear at Roman's away all he wants to at Money in the Bank. But then Roman's going to hit Bill back, and he'll hit him back harder with his own move. And whether he has to pin him or Braun, either way, Roman Reigns is leaving with the Universal Championship. Tense stare down between Goldberg and Roman Reigns before Roman would tap him on the shoulder, going, "Good job, Bill." And then he'd leave as the show goes off the air, scoring us a 72. Back to losing pop. We won pop on Raw for the first time in the save. Now we're straight back to losing it. But again, pretty decent show. All that matters is what you think of the show. Rest in peace to Teddy Long, of course. And we'll see you next time for the go-home show for Money in the Bank for Monday Night Raw. See you then.